Yo, 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 yo. Okay. I have no idea what happened, but I reset everything. And the problem is when you rush and you try to, please people like Hito and try to go on time, things go wrong. Joe says, Miller, I have a 2-hour drive home. Let's get on with the stream, please. Listen, when your day flies by, next thing you know, you reached your destination. Just remember it was because of the entertainment provided by the channel MillerDC on YouTube. What's up, Joe? Welcome to the stream. And Chris Fake says, what's up, everybody? People's Champ has left 2 voice messages. Looking forward to it. Now, these are the topics of discussion in case you want to leave another one, Chris. But we have a few topics that are quite interesting. Francis Ngannou's abysmal pay-per-view numbers is part of the topics for today. So keep that in mind. We also have Jose Aldo returning, which is a little strange, right? What we think about that. We'll talk about that as well. Aspinall folding, perhaps, to John Jones. It almost seemed like he was a little bit... intimidated by John Jones in their meetup, right? You thought with the energy that he had before saying, you know what, I want to fight I want to fight John Jones. I want to prove that I'm the best heavyweight in the world. For all the trash he was necessarily talking, if you even want to call it trash, it seemed like he folded under pressure. So we'll be talking about that as well. And what else? We also have Kobe versus Ian Gary. Ian Gary recently made a video. Jake Paul versus Mike Tyson, which is just, I don't even know how you sanction that fight. Sean O'Malley B moved up to number 6 on pound for pound rankings. I know even Joe might have plenty to say about that. Islam might have to fight Poirier next. What's next for MVP? And Islam turned down UFC 300. So a lot, plenty to talk about today. But where shall we begin? Listen, let's maybe begin where or in a place that we're not used to. And that being in a place where I was wrong, maybe. It's not necessarily often. It's not likely that this happens all the time, but it has happened. Francis Ngannou selling 4.6 thousand pay-per-view buys. Has been released just as of recent, which is a little bit, not even a little bit, maybe we could even say a lot of bit surprising. Maybe we thought, all of us, that he would sell a little bit more. Now, at the end of the day, he has secured the bag, right? You can say, but 4.6 thousand sold, 4.6K pay-per-view buys, and fans are having fun with it. Fans are saying, well, that's what you get. He made the wrong move. A couple comments you see, how was 70 million paid out to these two with only 4,200 pay-per-view buys in America? I'll tell you simply, that's Saudi money, ladies and gentlemen. I'm assuming, unless they're crazy, I doubt it. I'm assuming they knew this is not going to be a good return on investment. I think that's safe to say, right? But they wanted to see Francis Ngannou. It's a bunch of rich people, I think, saying, you know what? I want to see how Francis Ngannou does in boxing. I'll fund it. I'll pay for it. And a couple people said, nah, we just didn't give a right? I didn't even know they were fighting. ESPN notified me of the knockout, or nobody cared. Jake Paul's dog could get more pay-per-view buys. They're making fun of Francis Ngannou, and it's, is it fair? Listen, do we think that this guy cares how much is sold? I mean, if he made millions, and if I could find real quick, I'm typing like an accountant. According to an article by Marca.com, despite losing, let me see if I could, there we go. That might help you guys a little bit. Despite losing, Ngannou earned a tidy $20 million, 15.75 million payout from the fight after previously earning just under 10 million. Listen, I don't care what you guys say. I was going to start off with saying maybe I was a little bit wrong about Francis Ngannou, but then I came to my senses. It's not that I'm wrong. If anything, I'm right. He made the best decision, and for him to pull this off, I'm more impressed that he made this much money despite 4,600 pay-per-view buys. I'm impressed. This guy legally robbed the bank.
You need people like me. You need people like me so you can point your fingers.
People want to say that I should take an L on this. To that I say, if you were me, if I were you, if we were each other, we would all. What would we do? Would we have stayed in the UFC if we were Francis Ngannou? If we know this is how much we would have made? Let's be honest. Let's let me actually make a poll on this because this is important. Did Francis Ngannou make the right move? Well, I actually want to see the votes on this. You guys are just getting in here. This is not what I want to bring up. 4.6 thousand pay-per-view buys. Despite losing, Ngannou earned a tidy $20 million. He won. He won the game. This guy is let's see what's a good example. He's basically the I don't know if this is a great example, but we're just freestyling today. We're having fun because not that much news, right? So we're freestyling a bit. This guy's the drug dealer that got away. And of course, we have somebody in general chat that wants to talk. So I'm going to jump in there in 2 seconds. Joe, let me just read it. 4.6 thousand. Oh, my God. What does that say about Joshua, though? That's another great question. The source was right, says Trey. Trey's never right. Let me know when the lines are open. I'm going to jump in. The general voice chat. We do have voicemails to play from Chris. So I'll do that after I talk to Joe, and then I'll open the phone lines again. But obviously, Joe De Jesus, the man who has been historically wrong, wants to jump in. So, Joe, welcome to the stream. The usual Joe. We add him to the call, and he doesn't talk.
I'm here.
Oh, look. The usual
it worked. This one worked.
The usual unprepared Joe. Welcome to the stream.
What's going on, Miller?
Nothing
How
much
are
besides
you, brother?
me being. I'm doing great. You know what? I'm doing great because I love to see other people win. I consider Francis Ngannou a friend, and for him to make as much money as he made despite the pay-per-view buys, I'm excited. Yeah, I'm doing good.
That's good. I'm glad. And you said you were. Did you admit you took an L on this, or it's kind of still up in the air?
I almost took an L. I will admit. I was scared. I had to look in the mirror and say, was I wrong about Francis Ngannou? And then I pulled up the article that he made $20 million, and it made me realize that I was never wrong. If anything, I was more right than ever.
And you were saying at the beginning of the stream that you're barely wrong, right?
That is true as well too. Yes, that is. I mean, the one time I was wrong about Sean O'Malley.
Cheeto Vera winning. Yeah, I was about to say you had Cheeto Vera winning that fight, but anyway.
I had a feeling that was around the corner. Yeah, I'm with
you. I'm with you. He made $30 million about, right? In his 2 fights?
Yes. Oh, close.
Close to $30 million. I mean, I don't see how that's an L. He went toe-to-toe with Tyson Fury. Mm-hmm. Some people thought he won the fight. I didn't think he won the fight, but it was definitely close. It was a good fight. And then he gets knocked out by Anthony Joshua. Now, the way he got knocked out was really bad. That was bad. But there is no shame in getting knocked out by Anthony Joshua, to be honest with you. There is no shame in getting knocked out by a perennial contender, world champion, one of the greatest heavyweights of our generation. There's no shame in that. So I don't understand people are saying that, oh, he got knocked out. It's like, yeah, but he didn't get knocked out by a bum. He got knocked out by a world champion. So that can happen.
This is the $1 million question. $1 million question. Did Tyson Fury take it easy on Francis Ngannou, or Anthony Joshua is just that nice? Because people say, you know what, this just goes to show Fury wasn't trying. Or is it styles make fights? Is it like, Fury was trying to sell the fight? Or Francis is not that good after we've seen him against Joshua? What really is it?
I have no idea, honestly. I think he just caught him.
Caught him early? Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he just caught him early. He stunned him in the first round. he's not really used to being hit like that ever. So could have just threw him off his game. So that's how I see it.
He got called.
People were saying it was fixed. I saw that. People were saying it was fixed. I was seeing that. But I mean, who knows? The boxing game is always there's always shenanigans going on in boxing. So I never put when someone says it was rigged, I'll never put it past anybody to rig a boxing match because that happens all the time. So
as far as Francis Ngannou taking a dive against Joshua, or you mean as far as Fury maybe taking it easy on Ngannou?
I'm talking about both. I'm talking about Fury taking it easy on Ngannou to help maybe build Francis up, and then Ngannou taking a dive. I'm not saying he took a dive. He clearly got knocked out. But, you never know. You never know. So
I got one more question, and feel free to jump back in, but we do have some voicemails. All right, you saw the title of today's stream is Sean O'Malley.
That's why I called, Miller. That's why I called in.
And I'm pulling up. I know you're on the road, and I know you needed time to go by fast, so you're welcome. Free entertainment. Is Sean O'Malley number 6 best in the UFC pound for pound? Because after today, the rankings have been updated, and he's above. Hear me out here. I know this might sound a little crazy and unbelievable. I don't expect you to agree with what the UFC is doing or these rankings. He's above Volkanovski. He's above Dricus. He's above Adesanya. He's above Oliveira. He's number 6. The only people above him are Topuria, Pereira, Edwards, Jones, and Makhachev. How do you feel about Sean O'Malley being number 6 in the pound-for-pound rankings?
This is a tough one because before the call, I was like, you know what? Let me look at the UFC pound-for-pound rankings. Let me see who's ahead of him. And there's just a lot of dogs in that from 1 to 7. From rank number 1 to 7, I agree with rank number 1 with Islam, and then from then on out, it is a free for all. To be honest with you, because I wouldn't mind having Ilia Topuria at number 2. I could see Alex Pereira at number 2. I could see Charles Oliveira still in the top 5. So I have no problem with him being above all the people that you said. The only one maybe is Charles Oliveira. I wouldn't have him above Charles Oliveira. Charles Oliveira's only lost to Islam, and he absolutely destroyed everyone else that he's fought. So, but Sean O'Malley at number 6 fully deserved to be there. I wouldn't mind. I wouldn't mind if they even had him above some of the other guys there, Alex Pereira or John Jones. Honestly, I don't agree with John Jones at number 2. I don't agree with.
Oh wow,
Leon Edwards is tough. What is the pound for pound? Just winning fights, or is it like the way you're winning fights? What's the criteria? I'm genuinely asking. I have no idea.
I don't know how the UFC would categorize it, but I would say that you're the best fighter. As far as I don't want to use the term in the definition, but pound for pound, as far as like in your respective division, if you were the same weight as someone else, who,
right.
for example, Volkanovski versus like a Dricus, right? Hypothetically, that'll never happen. They're far away in weight, but skill for skill, who's the better fighter? You would say that. I guess it would say yes, Volkanovski is better than Dricus. And if it were fair, if they were the same height and reach and same weight, that who would win? That's how I envision pound for pound. And let's talk about a couple names that bother us. Well, one that you brought up that was interesting was the John Jones one. Leon should be above John Jones.
I understand why John Jones is at number 2. Leon should not be above John Jones.
Absolutely. He maybe should even be above Makhachev.
Wait, are you being serious or are you just joking? Are you trying to get me riled up for clicks? Is that what you're doing, Miller? It's about to work.
He has the better opponents on his resume. He's more proven.
Leon Edwards does.
Yes. Listen, I don't mean to beat a dead horse.
Let me get this straight. Let me get this straight.
Yeah.
Islam's a good fighter, right? He's not great. He's just good, right? Or you think he's great? Because he hasn't really beaten anybody, right? According to your criteria, who has he beaten? Charles, and then who else?
He's beaten one.
Volkanovski.
He's beaten maybe you could say two great fighters in Oliveira and Volkanovski. So yes, you can call Islam Makhachev great. I don't like it. Like, yes, he's probably the best pound for pound fighter in the world, one or two. And I think the eye test tells us that. Like, we just know that this guy is heavily talented, heavily skilled. I think we can all agree, right? Where I would say O'Malley maybe isn't as proven as Makhachev. I think that's fair because he's beaten Volkanovski and Oliveira. Those are better names than Aljo and Marlon Cheeto Vera, right?
I mean, Aljo was the champion for a minute.
Yeah, he was.
I think that's a great win.
That's a good win. It's a very good
and
win.
Volkanovski's coming up, and Volkanovski was coming up to fight him. He's technically
right.
supposed to beat him, but my point is we can all see that he's a great fighter.
I agree. That's the point that I was trying to make too. That we can all see that Makhachev is great, but Leon should be above John Jones, and he maybe potentially should be above Islam.
Absolutely not.
Absolutely. Why not?
Because he got the belt. He got the belt luckily, first of all.
Oh, see, lucky. This is... Then
it was a lucky win. Miller, be honest.
You can say the same thing about O'Malley and Aljo.
No, let's just be honest. He was losing the whole fight. He was pulling at Jack Della Maddalena. He was losing the whole fight. And he caught what's his face? Usman with... Mm-hmm. Yeah, Usman with a leg kick and late in the 5th round. He was losing the whole fight.
Okay, and you don't put...
And he's not winning. He's not winning his fights like spectacularly. Let's be honest. He's not.
But let's be honest. The elevation has something to do with why he looked lackluster against Usman, right? Because he did take Usman's back early in that fight.
Miller, he's not winning his fights. Like, he's not winning his...
Kobe maybe what? One round maybe? He dominated Usman, arguably the best welterweight of all time, and you don't want to give that man credit?
Hello?
Yo, you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now, sorry.
He beat Usman, arguably the best welterweight of all time. Kobe didn't even win a round. And you're saying that I don't understand what you're trying to say about Leon, of why he shouldn't be above John Jones. What's up, Rick Grimes? Welcome to the stream.
I'm saying that John Jones is at least finishing a whole bunch of dudes. And he's looking dominant.
I would say in the last 2 to 3 years, Leon has better opponents and better wins than John Jones. I think currently, I'm not saying John Jones isn't better than Leon. When it comes to all time, I'm not saying that. I'm saying current pound for pound rankings, Leon should be above John Jones.
Yeah, and if you're gonna say that, then 100% Sean O'Malley should be above Leon Edwards. 1,000%. Yeah, because Sean O'Malley's winning fights, and he's looking better than Leon doing that. He's looking better than Leon Edwards when he's fighting. Is he not?
He's not fighting the caliber of opponents that Leon Edwards is fighting.
He's fighting champions. He fought ex-champions. I didn't think he won the fight, but it was a close fight. It was a good fight against Jan.
One ex-champion in Aljo.
Right.
Jan, he got gifted a decision, and then it's Vera. Leon beat Usman twice, and then Colby. The top of the division, one of them being...
He fought Jan. He went toe-to-toe with Jan, Sean O'Malley, and okay, maybe I thought he lost 2-1, barely, but I thought that...
And you're telling me that doesn't matter to you?
It's a close fight, though. It's a close fight.
Okay, so
listen, to be honest with you, I thought John Jones lost. I thought John Jones lost to Thiago Silva.
Joe, I almost feel like you're proving my point for me.
No,
you're putting stains on Sean O'Malley's wins. You're basically saying, "Oh, Jan, I thought Jan won, but somehow O'Malley should be above Leon, even though you thought Jan won." That doesn't make sense.
Everybody has stains on their. Everybody has stains when their fights. Like either they get gifted a decision. There's a lot of luck in UFC.
Not Leon. That's why he should be above these two.
No, he's winning the fights, but like he doesn't look. Miller, he doesn't look like a pound for pound.
All right, did he? You know what's the difference between Leon and John Jones and O'Malley? And you can tell me if I'm right or wrong. With John Jones and O'Malley, they're debatable. You're saying, oh, they potentially lost the fights that they were given wins for. You can't say the same for Leon Edwards. Is that fair?
Yeah, that's
Okay.
fair. But you
Right.
can also say, to counterbalance that, you can say in the wins that Sean O'Malley and John Jones do have, they look way more dominant than the wins that Leon Edwards has.
That makes no sense if they were debatable.
How does it make no sense? I'm not talking about the debatable losses that they had. I'm talking about the wins that let's look at the fights. Sean O'Malley
Okay.
versus whoever. Look at his wins, and look at John Jones. Look at his wins, and you can see dominance in those victories. And Leon Edwards, I'm seeing like he's winning the fights clearly, but like he's not dominating like John Jones and Sean O'Malley. You agree with that? You have to agree with that.
No, I thought he dominated Usman. And then not the fight that he knocked him out. Okay, he didn't dominate him there.
Even the second fight was not a domination. He won the fight. It wasn't a domination. Come on, Miller.
You don't think he dominated Kobe?
It wasn't a domination. He won the fight.
He won.
There's
like
a
4
way to
rounds
win fights.
Right.
There's a way to win fights that Dana White, that the crowd loves to see. And you know when you're seeing a dominant fighter. Like Sean O'Malley is a dominant fighter. Whenever he gets his clear wins, except for that Yan fight, all his wins are like, yo, he just beat the absolute crap out of that person. Or John Jones.
Against no names. Come on, Moutinho, Paiva, Almeida.
Miller, you're saying no names. You had Chito Vera beating him. What is your problem?
That was a good win. That was a dominant win. But we've seen him be a punching bag before.
Oh my gosh. Okay. But Kobe Covington is a great fighter. He's great, right?
Is Kobe great? Let's think about this out loud.
Hold on. He beat Usman. Leon Edwards has really one great win on his resume. You get that, right? Or two, Usman twice. That's the only person he's. So you think Kobe is that nice?
I think
he's
really
not.
good.
Let's just go with your premise about who they're fighting. Leon Edwards should not be there. John Jones has been there, done it for years and years and years. That man should be way above. Leon Edwards.
When was John Jones' last great win besides Cyril Gane?
You can't just say besides Cyril Gane, like that was for the heavyweight championship, and he came up, and he's a 2-belt holder. He's a 2-division champion.
Yes, but I'm talking about current pound for pound rankings. He beat Dominic Reyes in a, I guess you could say, debatable fight, and then Thiago Santos in a split decision. Right. So I don't understand how he's number 2 currently. Now, all time, you could put him at number 1. I'm not denying that. I think we both agree that, of all time, yeah, he perhaps is the best. But when it comes to current pound for pound rankings, I think you have to put Leon above him. Maybe let's.
I don't get. I just don't understand your criteria.
Okay.
I'm not understanding your criteria. I guess.
I think we're not agreeing with the John Jones ones. That's fine too. I think what we have more trouble with is the O'Malley one. Can we be honest on that one?
When you said we have more trouble with the O'Malley one, you have trouble with what?
Give me 1 second. That O'Malley should be above Leon in the pound for pound rankings. I think that was the argument that you were making, correct?
Yes, 100%.
That's insane, Joe.
Yeah, he looked more dominant. He looked way more dominant at 135 than Leon has looked at 170.
Leon has been fighting the top of the division for years. O'Malley hasn't.
My gosh, Miller. O'Malley hasn't looked better at 135 than Leon Edwards at 170. I'm not saying Leon Edwards has looked bad. I'm saying with your eyeballs, you don't think Sean O'Malley has looked better at 135 than Leon Edwards at 170?
I think that's an unfair question because we have to talk about the opponents that they both faced.
Oh my gosh,
and Leon has fought. All right, can we agree that Leon has fought the tougher opponents?
Leon has fought the tougher opponents
in his career. Granted, O'Malley has a lot more left. Yes, right now. I'll give you a couple names.
I guess right now, yeah, you would have to give the edge to Leon, who's also older than him too.
Right. And that's why I'm just saying, just currently as we speak right now, Leon's resume.
But not really.
Why not?
Who has he beat? Read off who he's beat. Leon Edwards.
Covington,
Notable.
Covington, Usman twice, Nate Diaz, RDA, Gunnar Nelson, Donald Cerrone, Brian Barberena, Vicente Luque. The dude has been fighting the best and beating the best for a while. Against Bilal was a no contest, but he was on his way to win that fight as well too, I think you can say.
Yeah, he almost tore his eyeball out. He's a cheater.
I mean, it was a mistake. I mean, O'Malley's known for doing the same thing, right, with Pedro Munoz. I mean, if we really want to be that literal.
I just don't understand the bias that you have. But anyway, I'll call back in. You get to other calls and
all right, yeah, because I'm gonna get to a voicemail and then Hito, and then feel free to come back. Think about what you said, because I feel pretty strongly that you're incorrect. I'm not gonna lie.
Oh my gosh! All right,
so think about that. Yeah. All right. Sounds good. There you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Joe in the building. Now let me quickly answer some voicemails, and once I finish answering some voicemails, then I will get to Hito. So Hito, if you hear me out there, be patient with me, young brother. I got 2 voicemails to play.
What's up, everybody? What's up, MillerDC? This is the People's Champ, Chris Bates talking. Let me just say this. This past Saturday, I did not watch that horrible event, especially the main event of this past UFC fight night. I didn't want to watch it. I already knew it was not going to be all that good. Plus, Tuivasa on the 4-5 losing streak. He should.
I'm gonna pause it because he's talking about the event. Hold on a second. I know time is of the essence for you, so I jumped in here real quick.
Oh, bro, disrespectful. That's crazy. 30 minutes, man.
I don't know exactly what I did wrong. Maybe you can make that clear to me. But did you hear all the craziness that Joe was talking about? Do you agree with Joe?
No, let's first get to your lie, because you were wrong. You lied. You were wrong about Ngannou because you said he was going to sell more pay-per-views, and he did a fraction of what he did with Tyson Fury. This is factual. You told that to Trey. I guarantee you that he will sell more pay-per-views the next time around.
But
you're wrong. You're wrong.
The time that it happened, that Joshua not being necessarily, I guess, a big of a name as I assumed in that sense. Francis Ngannou, 4.6 is a little bad. I'll admit.
So you were wrong. Stop saying you weren't wrong. The way you maneuvered to say, "Oh, he got the bag," that's right. Nobody. If he made the right move, yeah, he got a bag he would never got at the UFC. That's clear as day. If anybody tries to argue that, then you're stupid. But you were wrong, because you said he would sell more pay-per-views. And then Dana's right in aspect, like, he ain't that big of a star. You sound 4.6K? That's crazy.
What's up, Curtis Williams? Welcome to the stream. This, you know what this is like, Hito, and it's coming to light right now. This is more like, let's say it's Game 7, the Bucks versus the Lakers, right? And I say, you know what? The Bucks are gonna, they're gonna win by 12 points against the Lakers. They're gonna win the championship. Lillard gets his first title, and you're like, nah, man, the Lakers are gonna destroy the Bucks, right? And then it ends up being a nail biter. The Bucks win by 1. And you're like, bro, you were wrong, though. They only won by 1, not by 12. And I'm like, yeah, maybe I'm wrong about the small part of the story. But the overarching premise and the main point, I was right about. Francis won. I feel like I won because Francis won. You ever felt like that?
The only way Francis won is that he got a charity donation from Saudi Arabia.
Isn't that the biggest win?
Yeah, it is a win. But if you're arguing Dana White of saying he's not that big of a star, then you're wrong, because it's 4.6K. That's crazy. Like there's nobody you can get Sean O'Malley right now at 12 o'clock saying I'm gonna fight anybody. Well, technically a champion. I'm gonna fight Anthony Joshua, who's a huge name too. And right now, if he said I'm gonna do this right now, he'll get more than 4.6K buys. Like, that's not a star.
Oh, okay, but let's not lose sight of what's most important. This is great.
No, you want to deflect on you being wrong on something. Everybody agreed that he got the bag. He wins at that. That was never like an issue. Is whether Dana White did the right thing by releasing him, and by the numbers, I think he did. It's embarrassing.
Oh no, I don't think. Okay, so the argument that I've made before was Francis may not be as big of a star as he thinks he is. I'm pretty sure I said this specifically, but I always argued that it was a right move for him to move forward, and we're going to see that play out. And now that he's fought Joshua, granted he got knocked out cold, almost worse than Bryce Mitchell, but nothing will ever be that bad. He still won at the end of the day, and that was the main argument for all of us, no? People were, well, okay, let me say this. The biggest, what was the biggest phrase? I'll cash app you $5 when it came to Francis Ngannou when he first left the UFC. Do you remember what it was? Four words or 3 words? You have to. What were people accusing him of? It was 4 words or 3 words, depending on how you phrase it.
Enlighten me. I don't remember off the top of my head.
He fumbled the bag. Wasn't that the biggest topic of discussion when he left the UFC? Francis Ngannou right.
So no, okay, yeah, and you were right there. So that was the Tyson Fury. Now you got to remember the timeline of things. So,
okay.
So the timeline, you were right in that aspect. He didn't fumble the bag. He had a great fight with Tyson Fury. He got a lot of money, and then you were very excited. So you're right. That's part one. You were right. Then you were very excited, and you told Trey that he's going to sell more pay-per-views the next time. That's where you're wrong. You were already right the Tyson Fury time.
Okay.
We're now with Anthony Joshua. You were completely wrong.
Let's see. Wow, they sold. Hold on. I'm looking to see if I can support my argument a bit. And according to Reddit, I'm just looking this up really quickly. According to reports, Tyson Fury versus Francis Ngannou sold 67,000 pay-per-views in the USA last weekend. Floyd Mayweather versus Conor McGregor. So, okay. So what is that? Like almost 63K more?
You're wrong.
It's not a good look. I'll say that. 4.6 is abysmal. Now, what time did Francis Ngannou and Fury fight? Because I think that matters. As opposed to
it was in that like 5 o'clock. It was some weird time
on a Saturday. Francis Ngannou and Joshua fought on a Friday, if I'm not mistaken. I think those little details might matter a little bit. No,
I guarantee the UFC has done 12 p.m. cards on Saturdays and they killed it. So what are we talking about here?
I'm just saying that could have hurt his case a little bit.
Dude, it's 4.6K. That's embarrassing.
No, listen, let's be all right. I try to defend my argument as best as I could. Let's be honest. 4.6K is bad. It's really bad. No one is arguing against that. So I didn't
even know it happened until afterwards. Like I wasn't on your stream when you were streaming it, and then like I'm with Carlos, and then Twitter comes up. I'm like, oh, wait, Francis got knocked out. When did this happen? That's how bad it was, dude. I didn't even know it was happening. I thought it was gonna happen later on at night or something.
So is that okay? Again, I'm not trying to say this just to say, hey, I'm right. But hear me out here. Is part of the problem that
it had all the promotion in the world. They made a movie thing.
So? Okay, yeah, that's what I was going to ask. That's what I was going to ask.
Dude, they made a movie for it. It was insane. You know what I mean? So it's like, but like the thing is, Francis boxing ain't it, man. I'm sorry, it's not it. And so, yeah, man. In that aspect, you were wrong. You were right, but your point was already made against Tyson Fury and Francis. He got the bag. He didn't fumble the bag. That was point one. The point two is now he was going to sell more pay-per-views, and it was abysmal.
It was bad. It was bad. We can be honest about that.
As far as pound for pound rankings,
this is a topic I want to get to. Here we go.
So of course, because it's one that you're not wrong on. So,
thank you. I appreciate that.
So the only one I was like maybe would have been DDP, maybe, but look at it. Even though people feel like he didn't win against Peter Yan, he still beat Peter Yan, and he still beat Aljo. What I don't like is him jumping up 2 spots. He should have been above them beforehand, but him jumping up 2 spots and then like all of a sudden because he beat Cheeto, you know what I mean? Like that's where it's like a little salty because that guy's not like he's not up there. You know what I mean? So that was like a little bit like if he was gonna be there, he should have been there beforehand. That's why I was like, why isn't and DDP hasn't moved at all? And technically, he beat Whitaker and then he beat the champion. So it's like he doesn't move, but O'Malley gets up 2 spots for Cheeto. Why didn't he get up 2 spots for Aljo? Because O'Malley was 8 and DDP was 9, and O'Malley. The crazy thing is O'Malley fought the last time he fought was in August, and DDP beat Sean Strickland in December, I believe, or January. So if DDP just recently came up a win and he's a champion, why has his number not moved? Yet O'Malley goes up 2 spots for beating Cheeto Vera. That doesn't make sense to me. So
yeah, because
if he was going to be at that spot, he should have been there since August, not now for beating Cheeto. And DDP doesn't move at all this whole time. He's still at 9 with no arrows up and down.
whose last 2 wins are better, Drickus or Sean O'Malley?
Well, if
Drickus,
you're talking
Robert
about
Whitaker, strictly last 2.
I mean, Robert Whitaker is a good fight.
Right.
And so is Aljo. And then I think, Strickland is better than Cheeto. Cheeto's a punching bag.
Mm-hmm.
So I'd take a DDP for the last 2 fights.
Okay. Fair enough. Now, let's talk about the meat and potatoes. Leon Edwards should be above John Jones and Makhachev, right?
Not Makhachev.
So he should be above John Jones.
Yeah.
Interesting. Look, it's just like I'm always right about the overarching,
When did
why
John
not above
Jones fight?
Makhachev? Mm-hmm.
He fought last March, right? Leon fought. Let me click on this right quick. I'm sorry, my apologies. Leon fought December, then March, and in between December and March, he beat Usman and Covington. So, I mean, beating Usman a second time in dominating fashion was after John beat Siogan, and then he went and beat Kobe Covington, who did nothing that whole fight either. So, I think why is John Jones over him? That doesn't make sense to me.
Well, listen, according to Joe Schmo in the chat, he thinks, John Jones should be above Leon. He thinks O'Malley should be above Leon.
You got to stop that. Because look, man, look at where the rankings was. So if DDP is at 9 and O'Malley is at 8, and O'Malley has not fought since last August, and DDP beats Sean Strickland and doesn't move, and now O'Malley fights Cheeto Vera and goes up 2 spots, that doesn't make sense to me. Sorry, I don't like that. I don't buy that at all.
Well, listen, if you're agreeing with me and disagreeing with Joe, that's a good sign, right? So that's good. I agree with you as well too. I think, but I would want to push the envelope a little bit and say that Leon should even be above Makhachev. No,
they both beat 2 greats. You know what I mean, like back to back. But I think,
But don't you think? And this is a question to you. Don't you think Leon's is more meaningful because Makhachev fought the smaller guy, the guy that's not even in his division?
Well, you can say that he fought a broken down Usman. I mean, Usman's kind of like he's got no knees.
Yeah, but Usman was never showed any signs of slowing down before Leon. He was always dominant. It was Leon the one that knocked him out cold and then beat him decisively in a decision. In his natural weight.
Also, like the I guess it has to do with like the timing of the fights too. Like as far as like Makhachev had it in February and October, and then Leon had it a little bit afterwards. I don't know. I mean,
where they rushed Volkanovski.
He volunteered. It's not a rush.
But it was short notice. We could agree, right? I mean,
but then he also beat Oliveira. I mean, like you're talking about some like top notch fighters. You got Usman, but then besides Usman back to back, one that was kind of lucky. Like where's his other great at?
Who that Leon has beaten?
Yeah, like number 1 champ, previous champ. Like I mean, where's it at?
Covington, Usman twice. You got Nate Diaz. You got RDA.
And old Nate Diaz. Come on, dude. Nate Diaz has been washed forever. That's not really even competition unless you're Conor McGregor. Kobe Covington, clearly, you're not even a fan of him. You say he's garbage. When's the last time he won?
I think we got to be fair. It wasn't Leon's fault that the pandemic happened and he couldn't get here to fight.
Okay, but then that's also not the rankings fault either. That's not the rankings fault either.
Of course, but he was supposed to fight Hamza. I'm just telling the whole story for those that might not know the whole story. He was willing to fight Hamza, but at the end of the day, okay, if we had to break it just for simple ranking terms, his recent wins are better than Makhachev's.
Makhachev had Charles Oliveira and Volk twice.
Who's greater, Usman or Oliveira, right? You know what I mean? Like in the respective division. Oliveira, he has been, he's been labeled a quitter before, not saying that he is now, but he has been dominated before. Usman was never dominated until Leon Edwards came into the picture. Colby Covington has dominated everyone besides Kamaru Usman, which was debatable fights, and he beat him decisively. You could say maybe Colby won 1 round out of 5, but Leon dominated the whole fight. Leon has a better resume. And then you add on top of that, Makhachev beat someone. The most credit he's getting for is beating someone that's not even in the weight division. That's a big deal to me.
I look. Leon has 1 impressive performance against Usman.
2.
One out of one was a last second knockout. Come on, man.
Why do people keep saying that? That's almost more impressive to me. The elevation, he was tired. He almost didn't have nothing in the tank. The speed.
Elevation works for 2 people. There's 2 people who have to deal with elevation.
Usman is from over there. Granted, that's maybe Edwards' fault for not getting there earlier. But Usman is from, he was the only fighter on the card that was used to that elevation. And Leon still pulled it off. Probably the best knockout in the last 5 to 10 years.
They both have headshot knockouts, so I mean, they both win the decision.
Which one was cooler? Be honest.
Okay, but if you go to the last 3 fights, you got 2 head kick knockouts, 2 decision fights, and then 1 that ended in a submission. And then you had a boring fight against Covington. That was nothing but boring.
Okay.
So I think Islam, honestly, there's nobody really going to contest Islam. I think Leon's going to have more competition in his division. Islam is going to be bullying people. Who's going to stop him? Dustin Poirier, Gaethje? None of those guys got a chance against him.
Yes, Dustin Poirier is the name. Well, there's I don't know if I agree with that. I know Dustin joking around might be like, it's tough to have anyone beating Islam, but you don't like Arman as a potential opponent?
No.
I don't see anybody beating Leon right now. Who do you have beating Leon?
What's his let's go to
Shavkat
right quick.
Shavkat
for sure.
No, I think he beat Shavkat, and besides, who do you have? Bilal Muhammad beating Leon? I'll pull it up real quick. It's on the screen for those that are wondering.
I got it here. Yeah.
Yep. Usman, Bilal, Rachmanov, Covington, JDM, Gilbert Burns. Wasn't I right about Gilbert Burns? Gary, Brady, Thompson, Jeff Neal, Vicente Luque, Neil Magny, Michael Page. With Islam, you have, as crazy as this might sound, Makhachev might have the scarier division.
Yeah, and he's going to beat them all. Like, they can't beat him.
Oh, you don't give Arman a chance if he gets past
not.
Oliveira? Really?
No.
You know they fought before, right? And went to a decision when it was like Saryukin's debut fight, right?
That's fine. And what you call it, striking gotten so much better, Islam. So I you think Islam's not getting any better either?
No, again, when it comes to the eye test, I won't disagree with you. Like, when it comes to pure skill, Islam is up there. Top 2, top 3. He just doesn't have the resume, I would say that.
That's it for me. I got to go.
All right, you have a good one. He almost had some good points. Hito in the building. Thank you so much for coming through. Later. There you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Hito 609. Let's get to the voicemail that we've been waiting for. In the meantime, if anybody wants to jump in Discord, just join general chat, and then I will...
someone like his opponent for one.
And then I will join, and we can have a live discussion. Does Sean O'Malley deserve to be number 6 in the pound-for-pound rankings?
Against him, Tybura said, give him one more chance. No. Fuck the chances. I'm sorry, but that guy has to go. I'm talking about Tuivasa. I'm not going to lie. What was the point of making that fight? Everyone thought that was going to be a number 1 contender fight. What?
I've been saying this about Tuivasa for quite some time, by the way, Chris.
Heck no. Who's the interim champion right now? Who's the current champion?
Oh, we've had some good debates. The number 1 question of today, where I've already debated Joe, schooled him on that one, and Hito as well too, Beta, was does Sean O'Malley deserve number 6? The Beta, as crazy as this might sound, hear me out because this is important. Joe said that Sean O'Malley should be above Leon Edwards in the pound-for-pound rankings. You take your time with that, but that is one of the most disgusting things I've ever heard in my life.
The heavyweight division. John Jones. No, that guy sucks. Especially Tybura. He's not going to become champion. Just because he defeated someone who never became champion, that's not going to happen. Also, we should discuss about the fight that's coming up for UFC 301. I know 301 hasn't happened yet.
Right.
Jose Aldo's coming back to fight. And
Yeah, Aldo is coming back.
That's
Number
why
6 is
You need people like me. You need people like me so you can point your finger.
the guys that I have to talk to and
know
deal
this
with on a Monday basis. Is kind of crazy. Acer07, welcome to the stream. How you doing today, bro? It's good to have you back. The question, topic of discussion today: is Sean O'Malley number 6 best in the UFC pound for pound?
Jonathan Martinez. I don't know him personally, but I love Jose Aldo. But I'm sorry, I'm rooting for Jonathan Martinez, and the reason why, I'm not trying to say Aldo sucks. No, he's good. I'm trying to say that Martinez, he's half Salvadoran and half Mexican, so I'm going for the half Salvadoran fighter for Martinez. Sorry, guys. And also, I heard that Cruz wanted to fight Aldo, but no, that's not true, because if he wanted to fight Aldo, it should have been happened a long time ago. But that commentary bitch ass asshole doesn't want to do shit nowadays. Okay, next one.
I think Aldo would extremely decisively cook Dominic Cruz if they were to ever fight, which is kind of crazy. Should Sean O'Malley be number 6 in the rankings? If you guys are wondering who's above him, you have Oliveira. Oh, I'm sorry. You have Makhachev, John Jones, Leon Edwards, Alex Pereira, Ilia Topuria, and then you have Sean O'Malley at number 6. Does he deserve to be that high? Should he be higher? Should he be number 2? Should he be number 3? We have some just erroneous people like Joe DeJesus in chat that says O'Malley should be above Leon Edwards. I mean, what a joke, right? But where should even John Jones is too high on the list? I mean, when was his last good win? I say Leon Edwards should be above John Jones. I would even argue that you could put Leon Edwards above Islam Makhachev.
I don't mean no disrespect.
I'm just saying 267-545-8096 if you want to leave a voicemail. We got one more voicemail, but join general Discord if you want to discuss.
Another thing I want to discuss is that I know there's another UFC event, which is Amanda Ribas. They said Ribas. No, it's Ribas.
Teron Brown, welcome to the stream, man. How you doing today, bro?
With an R, not with an H. Amanda Ribas versus the former 2-time strawweight champion Rose Namajunas. I'm not gonna watch that fight either, because the last fight I saw was Namajunas. That was ass. I'll talk about on her flyweight debut. So heck no. But I do got Amanda Ribas by unanimous decision, a possibility a first-round knockout. You never know, but or submission. But honestly, like, the only event I'm gonna watch is Bellator 302, which is the main event is former UFC fighter Corey Anderson versus Carl Moore, who is fighting for the undisputed vacate light heavyweight champion since Vadim Nemkov vacated recently. And
Vadim is nice, by the way, that people don't know about. Nemkov is nice.
The co-main event, Patricio Pitbull versus Jeremy Kennedy, a fight that should have happened last year. I'm going for Jeremy Kennedy by a vicious first-round TKO. Patricio Pitbull's UFC title reign is coming to an end. Jeremy Kennedy will represent the new generation, the new undisputed future featherweight champion of Bellator. Patricio Pitbull is done. And guess what? He's 35 years old, too. You may think that Volkanovski was upset. Look at Pitbull. And anyways, we have a lot to discuss about tonight. So I'll see you guys tonight with you and Trey Milton. Let's talk later tonight.
There you go, ladies and gentlemen. Chris Faith with a hot voicemail on his thoughts. Guys, the question is, Sean O'Malley, number 6, does he deserve it? And I had a conversation with Joe DeJesus about it. I had a conversation with Hito609. These are the current standings. And I'll get back to this topic as well, too. I'll see if anybody joins Discord and I'll jump in there. But number 1, you have Islam. And then from then on, you have John Jones, Leon Edwards, Alex Pereira, Ilia Topuria, and then Sean O'Malley. So Sean O'Malley is above Volkanovski. I know Volkanovski got his block knocked off, but to be above even Volkanovski is kind of crazy. Oliveira is another crazy one as well, too. I don't even think he should be above Dricus, just to be quite honest. Chris Faith in the building. What's up, Chris?
Hey, what's up, man? How you doing?
Nothing much, man. Everything is good. It's great to talk about some MMA. Listen, Chris, I need your opinion on Sean O'Malley being number 6. in the pound for pound rankings. The only people above him are Topuria, Pereira, Edwards, Jones, and Makhachev. How do you feel about Sean O'Malley being number 6 in the pound for pound rankings?
To me, it's completely fair because whoever's saying it's not fair, like for example, like those stupid dumb Cheeto fans saying, "Oh, he got robbed." I'm like, first of all, he didn't get robbed. Second of all, how long has it been since Sean O'Malley defeated Cheeto Vera in the rematch? Like a week already. That was not a robbery. That was the most significant victory that I've ever seen for Sean O'Malley. It was no robbery.
So you like I guess the question for me is, how is he above? You don't think Dricus should be above O'Malley in the pound for pound rankings? You don't think his last 2 wins are better?
That fight was awful. Was I call it Sean Strickland. That fight was completely booty. I didn't even like that fight. That was the most boring headline pay-per-view event of 2024. The most boring one. Like,
but let me ask you this: what 2 opponents are better on the resume? Whitaker and Sean Strickland, or Aljo and Cheeto Vera?
Whitaker and Sean Strickland. That should be a 5-round, but it has to be in the fight night event, not a pay-per-view card.
Oh, no, I'm saying what 2 opponents are better on the resume. For example, Sean O'Malley's last 2 wins are Cheeto Vera and Aljamain Sterling. Duplessis' last 2 wins are Whitaker and Sean Strickland. To me, those 2 wins against Whitaker and Strickland is more meaningful than Aljo and Marlon Vera. Do you agree or do you disagree with that?
I agree with that. Completely agree with that. I don't disagree on that.
Yeah, that's why I feel like Dricus should be above O'Malley. I think O'Malley being at number 6 is a little bit high, in my opinion. I don't even know if he should be above Volkanovski.
Dricus, he didn't knock out Sean O'Malley. Yeah, he beat him, but you only beat him because of rigged judges. He only beat him because
Sean Strickland?
Yeah, because we all know that the judges, some of them were Canadian, and Sean Strickland, he had a lot to say about Canada and all that stuff. So that's the reason why. Oh yeah, like let's pay the judges. That way you can get Dricus Duplessis to win. I guarantee. Look, Dricus Duplessis' reign is not going to last that long. Watch when he fights Israel Adesanya. My prediction,
wow.
international fight week, UFC 303.
You like Adesanya against Dricus? Why is that?
Because the fact is, look, I know Sean Strickland wants to rematch, but guess who's in line? Israel Adesanya, because the bloodbath between Adesanya and Duplessis has not happened. It was supposed to happen, but freaking Duplessis injured his damn foot. And the fact that, they decided to, I'm not going to lie, look, the only reason why Sean Strickland got that title fight, even though he won, because he beat up a total nobody. Who I want to know. Who in God's name is Abus Magomedov? A nobody. You only became number 1 contender because you only defeated a nobody. The same thing for Vera, because he only became number 1 contender because he defeated someone who never became UFC champion, someone who's been fighting in the bantamweight division for years and hasn't even got not even 1 fight for the title.
Yeah, I mean, listen, that's a hot take to have. I just think at this point, Adesanya might be a little bit in the decline of his career. Losing to Pereira, then beating him, then losing to Sean Strickland, got somewhat dominated by Sean Strickland. Not that Dricus looked that much better against Strickland. It was a close fight. I guess you had Strickland winning that fight against Duplessis. I think the wrestling, I think the grappling, I think is going to make a difference. And how big Dricus is against Adesanya. Are you saying Adesanya just outstrikes Dricus? Is that how you have him winning?
I have him winning. If it's not by knockout, it could be by unanimous decision. And guess what? If he does win, he'll make history, becoming the first ever 3-time middleweight champion. Something that Anderson Silva couldn't do a long time ago. Not even Robert Whitaker.
It would be an incredible accomplishment. I don't know. I think Adesanya's best days are behind him.
But he's not 35 years old. He's only 34.
Right, and I guess that's a big number, right? The curse of 35 and over. Poirier just beat that curse as well too. So I mean, him beating Benoit. So it is a little bit interesting. Actually, speaking of Poirier, it seems that Gaethje is caught up with Max Holloway, right? So he has a fight booked. Arman is booked with Oliveira. Question for you, one of my last questions: if or should Poirier fight Islam for the title in June, or is that undeserved?
That's completely undeserved, and I'm gonna be honest with you. If Justin Gaethje wins, well, I think, look, I think he might try to knock him out, but I don't see him winning by knockout. I do see him winning by unanimous decision. Why? Because Max Holloway, he has never ever been knocked out. Well, submitted by Dustin Poirier, but that was submission, but that wasn't technically by knockout.
Okay.
But the other guy, I'll talk about. I mean, the other guys, Arman Zarukian and Charles Oliveira. I'm not gonna lie, I respect those two, but I'm not doubting Arman Zarukian. Arman Zarukian, he is the dark horse of the lightweight division. No one's recognizing him as the dark horse. They still think, oh, Oliveira. I'm like, okay, let's see if Oliveira still has the better what's the better strength, the better striking than Arman Zarukian. But if and let me say this, they're all doubting, especially look, I'm not gonna lie. I know Hollywood Jito is doubting Arman Zaruki. I'm like, okay, keep doubting. But understand this, my prediction is better than all of yours. My prediction is better than all of yours. So you could say, oh, Arman saw, but okay. But watch what happens. UFC 300. Watch what happens on that night, April 13th. Watch what happens before, and I mean before reaching up to the BMF fight, the strawweight fight, and the light heavyweight championship fight.
Oliveira does scare me a bit against Arman because Oliveira plenty of times has been doubted just to then win. Look how incredible he looked against Beneil. People picked him to beat Beneil, but not in the fashion in which he did. And this is a big step up for Arman. I have Arman winning as well too. Let's hypothetically say Arman wins, right? Do you see him eventually holding the title, or you think Islam is just too good to relinquish the title?
No, it'll be stupid if he relinquished the title if Arman Zarukian is selected next to Knicks. I'm like, no. If you do that, then you're not technically, meaning Islam himself is not technically the best lightweight in the world. Like, I understand he defeated Alexander Volkanovski twice, but that was because he moved up. But
right, I
we
agree.
haven't even seen Islam defending the title, not even for one single lightweight fighter. I don't care if it has to be Poirier, Gaethje, or how you call it, Oliveira again, or it doesn't have to be Oliveira again. It could, like, trust me, Arman Zarukian could steal the spotlight. He could steal it.
I think we agree from what you're saying. This is my problem with Islam. I'm not saying he's not a great fighter. You could tell by his skill set. He's really, really good. You see the striking, the wrestling. He's an all-around complete fighter. My problem only is he hasn't fought the best in his division yet. I think we could agree on that. So I want to see him against Poirier, the Gaethjes, the Arman Sarukians. And until then, I don't like that he's number one pound for pound best fighter in the world right now.
Well, the reason why he was selected is not because, oh, he just defeated Volkanovski, because hello, like, didn't you hear what happened to John Jones when he decided to withdraw? Like, they were like, what the heck, man? And speaking of Jones, oh, I heard he had a run-off with Tom Aspinall. I saw that. I was like, oh, wow. I never noticed that. Yeah, like, it was all over on Instagram. It was all over on YouTube. TikTok has it.
Actually, let me get to it. I actually have a video that I'm going to play on stream. So if anything, feel free to jump back in. I'm going to get off the call for a second, play the video, and then talk about that a bit. Chris, thank you for the call. Any last thoughts?
Let's talk later tonight. That's all.
Sounds good, man. Thank you for the call, man. There you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Chris Faith, always with a good call. Speaking of everything that he said, the last thing he spoke of was Tom Aspinall having a run-in with John Jones. And you saw the hand on the shoulder. Let's talk about that. We might have a longer stream today because it's been a good one thus far. But here is Tom Aspinall talking about John Jones and their, I guess you could call it their infamous run-in. Let's see what he had to say.
You put your hand on his shoulder and he brushed it off. What was that bit like for you?
Well, I think he thought I was putting his hand on his shoulder being disrespectful, but I wasn't. Yeah. I was doing it. I wasn't there to be disrespectful, mate. I was doing it in a friendly way. I didn't want to, I'm not trying to like cause.
Did he fold by saying, oh, I was just trying to be friendly? He probably thought I was coming off a little bit aggressive. Should Aspinall have reacted in a way to say, you know what, don't push my hand off your shoulder? Should he have pushed him? Should he have been a little bit aggressive? Did he do the right thing?
There's no beef. I'm trying to fight the guy and take his belt. That's what I want. I've no beef against the guy. And yeah, just wanted to meet him. Just friendly. Nothing crazy.
Even though he was mature about the situation, it is a little bit, I wanted to see a little bit more fireworks, and the people in the comments at least are really showing Aspinall some love. They say, how can you not love this guy? He was checking the reach. Someone said in chat, how can you not like this guy? He deserves a fight, in my opinion. Strip John at this point. It is a little bit annoying that when Kobe got injured, they stripped him fast, right? As far as of the title. John Jones, how is he still the heavyweight champion, right? He has been inactive. I know he suffered an injury, but I don't understand if he doesn't fight Aspinall, the interim champ. How do you give him a fight with Stipe and justify that? To me, that is absolutely insane. And I know it might even sound a little bit blasphemous, but I think the Aspinall fight is extremely dangerous for John Jones. And I'm not saying he's scared. I'm not saying he potentially doesn't even beat Tom Aspinall, but I do think it is a little weird that that's not the fight that is asked for. The very next fight for the heavyweight title. I think that's just a little bit strange in my estimation. Let me catch up. Now I think it'll be closer than that. Chris is right. I mean, Chris has been preaching as of recent. We got to give him credit. Now I think it'll be a closer fight than that. That's true. Good fact. Another topic, I guess, of discussion, and maybe one of the fans' most favorite topics. None other than Ian Gary. There has been a little bit of back and forth between Colby Covington and Ian Gary, and it might even be a fight that potentially happens next. Whether you guys want to see it, you guys can let me know in the chat. But Ian Gary has openly criticized Colby now, and I thought he would be a little scared of the press conference and everything Colby has to say, but he did challenge him publicly. This is what he had to say.
I challenge you to an I quit match where one of us has to say, I quit.
Ian Gary is a little cringy. Can we just be honest? When he first arrived on the scene, I liked the guy. I'm like, listen, this guy might be the next one up at 170, but he just hasn't been doing himself any favors with the WWE style of call out, with the whole thing with his wife and the WAG stuff. The Neil Magny trying to make him seem like he's a bad father. What was the other one? The Jeff Neal, the mugshot. Ian Gary is hard to root for, in my opinion, but nonetheless, he's calling out Colby Covington here.
I quit. And whoever
cringy
says the words I quit has to retire. Gloves off, center of the octagon, sayonara, my friend. I'm going to be the final chapter in your legacy of failure. I am going to rid the UFC of Colby Covington for good, and I'm going to make MMA great again.
Now, this would be good if the people received this quite well. But listen, I'm one of those that I run to the comments because I do like to hear what people have to say. Let me quickly read some comments, and then I think we have another caller that will just join in 1 second. Honestly, with the level of trash talk, this fight will be super entertaining. So that's one good one. Signs of the merge, LOL. Ian is actually just flat out cringe, another person says. Can they both quit? Bro thinks hitting on Kobe is going to get him fans. A lot of it, not going to lie, that would be entertaining. I think the fight stylistically is entertaining. But as far as Ian Gary gaining fans, listen, he might be arguably the most hated. It might be him. It might be Patty. It might be Colby. Who's the most hated fighter in the UFC right now? Mike Dornan, welcome to the stream, bro. How you doing today? So good evening, all the guys. FM's DJing, but he's a problem in the octagon. No one could take that away from him. As far as a fighter, he's solid, man. I wouldn't even mind seeing him versus Michael Venom Page. There are fights for Ian Gary out there that are quite interesting. The Colby fight, stylistically, the wrestler versus the kickboxer and Ian Gary. I like that fight. I'm not mad at it. I wouldn't be too opposed to that, but we do have another caller. Let's join. Yo. Let's see if Joe is the thing with Joe is that you got to try a few times. Let me drag him out the chat and then drag him back in. Yo.
Yup.
There we go. You're getting better. That was only like 7 seconds of you being muted. What's up?
What's Ian Gary's nickname? Because his name should be Ian the Cornball Gary. He is such a cornball. Like, he is corny. Even him saying when he fought, who was it wasn't Jeff Neal. It was the other guy. What's his name? Neil Magny.
Neil Magny. Mm-hmm.
He's like, you beat your kids. Bro, he's spanking his children. He has to discipline his children. Like, calm down, buddy. He's so corny. He's so corny.
He has taken a fall from grace. All right, is he the most hated fighter in the UFC as we speak, or can you think of someone else?
The most hated fighter in the UFC.
Mhm.
Oh man.
Who is it?
I think whoever wins the fight between him and Colby Covington gets
Right.
to whoever the loser is the most hated fighter.
That's a tough one, man. I thought Colby couldn't turn it around after that abysmal performance against Leon. We can't blame him, right? Leon is just that great. But between Ian Gary and Colby Covington, who's more hated? Gun to my head, I gotta say it's Ian Gary. Yeah, I agree. I think Ian Gary, it's for him to turn his career around and have fans behind him. I think those days are gone. I can't see people rooting for him. The whole thing with the wife, I think, was the most damaging, to be quite honest.
Yeah, he's a cornball. I didn't even. It's funny, before you started the live stream, I seen that video and I was like, okay.
Now the question though, Joe, is at the end of the day, these guys are going in there to fight, not necessarily be fan favorites. Colby Covington right now versus Ian Gary right now. Who do you got winning?
Yeah. I was literally gonna say he's gonna end his own UFC career, Ian Gary. He's gonna have to retire because I don't think he's beating Colby Covington. Honestly, it's a toss up. I'll put it this way: it's a toss up right now. It's a toss up.
That you saved your argument a little bit. I'm not gonna lie. I don't know what the odds are gonna be. Oh, let's see if we can find some early odds for this. But I would bet a significant amount that Ian Gary dominates Colby. I think Colby's past his prime. I made a short about this. It's on my Instagram, so you know that I'm not just making this out of thin air. Colby Covington, Ian Gary. I think Ian Gary keeps his striking, and I think he dominates Colby at this point in his career. I think Colby Covington is washed.
Washed is a strong word. Is he washed or is he declining?
It's a good. I mean, how much significance do we put that last performance in the way that Colby Covington lost against Leon? Did he lose because he's washed, or is Leon just that good? A tough question for you with all the arguments you've been making. So you tell me.
He's definitely not as good as he was when he fought Usman the first two times.
So you think that has something to do with him losing against Leon?
Yeah, I think he's been in the UFC for a little while, and how old is he now? 34, 35?
I think he's 35 right now. Let me double check real quick. Colby Covington age. He is 36.
36.
He just turned 36 not too long ago. A little less than a month ago.
35, 36. Yeah. He's just declining. He's definitely on the back end of his career. But I still think he can give a good fight to Ian Gary. That's a good matchup stylistically, I think.
Is that the next fight to make for both fighters?
Sure, yeah, but don't make it an I quit fight. Don't be corny about it.
Nah, I don't.
And in that fight, I will be rooting for Colby Covington. And I think this is a perfect opportunity.
Why is that?
If Trey's listening, I think this is a perfect opportunity for Colby Covington to get back right with the fans. If anyone hates him and he beats Ian Gary, I think he's gonna be right back up there, just embedding himself within the hearts of the fans for whooping on Ian Gary.
You think beating Ian Gary makes people fans of Colby Covington again? That's what you're essentially saying?
Yes, 100%.
And then what? Does he 100%. Try to fight for the title again, or is he going to be
a champion? No, he's a gatekeeper.
Ah,
yes,
okay.
He's a gatekeeper. 100%.
Okay.
He's a gatekeeper.
Just like
100%.
Gilbert Burns is, right? And I was right.
Unfortunately, yes, that became true. And listen, you were right about that. Okay, you were right about that. I want to go back to this because something Chris Faith said, and it kind of just jumped. And it was a good.
You sound far for a second. I mean, that's what Chris Faith tends to do. So let's hear what quote it was that got to you. Yo. I can't hear you if you hear me. I was interested to see what it was that Chris Faith said. If you hear me, can't hear you. Just background noise. Now I hear you. Yes. What was it that Chris Faith said?
Chris Faith said you had asked Chris Faith if O'Malley's last 2 fights were better wins than Dricus' last 2 fights.
Right.
And that was like your kind of gotcha moment as to why Dricus should be at 6, right? You think he should be at 6 over O'Malley?
Yes.
Well, Aljo win is a better win than both Whitaker and Sean Strickland. Honestly, is it not?
Oh.
It's not. You don't think knocking out the champion who's been the champ for the past like 2-3 years, knocking him clean out is a better win than Robert Whitaker, who's on the back end of his career, and Sean Strickland, who is good, definitely not great.
I think Robert Whitaker is that good.
You
Where
are-
like that's
you
a
are
big
crazy.
that's a big win right there. To beat Robert Whitaker, especially in the way in which he did, which he dominated, that surpasses the Vera win like by a landslide. So you do have to put that in together with Sean Strickland. I think those last 2 wins are just better than Aljo and Vera.
Okay, so if let's just say that's how we know that the UFC isn't counting pound for pound like by just W's. They're definitely looking at the way you're finishing your opponent. 100%.
Okay, that's a fair argument. That's something to definitely think about.
Yeah, I think that's how. And thank you for Chris Faith for mentioning, because I was trying to figure out what the criteria was, and that is a perfect illustration as to why Dricus is behind Sean O'Malley, and Sean O'Malley is right there sniffing top 5 pound for pound. It's the way he's beating people, and that counts. And that's the way it is in boxing too. In boxing, the pound for pound, you had for many years, Floyd Mayweather was up there, and you had a whole bunch of guys with 0 losses on the record. Okay, well, how are you going to determine who's the best pound for pound? Well, you're going to determine it by how they're beating their opponents. That's how you're going to determine it. And so that's how they're determining it. And I fully agree. I think Sean O'Malley is at number 6 for good reason.
Joe, you might be onto something, because if I'm looking at, wow, this is a little bit interesting. I'm looking at the current pound for pound rankings, and if you look at all of them, I don't know if this is just a lucky guess for you, and that could be the case. Makhachev beat Volkanovski by knockout, so impressive finish, right? John Jones against Cyril Gane finished him. Leon Edwards didn't finish Kobe, so that might be the only one, but he did finish Usman before that. Pereira knocked out Hiri. Ilia Topuria knocked out Volkanovski. Sean O'Malley dominated Vera, so a dominant performance. Dricus is below them, and it wasn't the most necessarily, I don't know, I guess impressive win. Pantoja, same thing as well too. Adesanya, you might be onto something.
Well, Miller, you need to start listening to me more. That's number 1. And number 2, this is what I will concede to you. I will concede that me personally, I would have Sean O'Malley. I would have no problem having Sean O'Malley above Leon Edwards,
That's
based
crazy.
solely on performances, on type of performance, how good you looked in the performance. I have no problem with it, but I will concede if they have Leon Edwards up there, I can't complain about it. He hasn't lost. He's winning. He's the champion in his belt now 2 times. So I don't have a problem with it. But just me personally, if I'm looking at the pound for pound like I was looking at like a boxing pound for pound, then I would have O'Malley above Leon Edwards, 100%.
We didn't talk about this enough, but not only should Leon be above O'Malley, like you said, he might, or he probably should be above Makhachev, but maybe that's a conversation for another day.
Really, I can't. Sometimes you say things, and I think that you're taking the sponsorship with me, and you're over there drinking Bud Lights because you're drunk. You have to be drunk to say that.
Oh, and to add on top of that, which I think helps my argument, Islam was offered the Leon fight and he turned it down. Maybe there could be a little bit of fear, knowing that, listen, I can't go up and beat Edwards. There could be something to that as well too.
There is no fear. There is no fear. He just, why is he gonna go up? He needs to. Chris Faith is right too. Chris Faith was on the money today. He was on the money today. Islam hasn't even defended his belt against a true 155er. Not one time has he defended it.
That was
Not
a very
one time.
strong. That was a very strong point, and I think we could all agree, me, you, Chris, and plenty of others in the chat, that as far as the eye test, Islam is that damn good. But you're right, he hasn't beat he needs to fight Poirier, he needs to fight Gaethje, he needs to fight Arman, he needs to fight all these names. Now, I'm not gonna lie, I think Poirier has a good chance to beat him. That could be a conversation for another day as well too. But he needs to fight these guys.
Yeah, I think that he's gonna fight Poirier and then Gaethje. He'll follow the same footsteps that Habib did, and he'll fight Poirier, he'll fight Gaethje, and then Fiziev. Who's Fiziev fighting next?
That's a good question. I think he had something locked up, but then he got injured. So let me see if I could find anything for him at the moment. He lost again. Right? I'm not sure. I don't know if he has I don't think he has anything.
Did he recently lose to Gamrot? That's his last fight?
That was yeah, because remember the leg injury that he had? That was tough to watch. That was back in September. There's nothing officially on the books for him right now. So that was just a little bit unlucky for him. Fiziev his wrestling or inability to wrestle as compared to the other guys like Poirier, Gaethje, that worries me a bit. Last question for you. Out of all the names in the lightweight division that we mentioned, Gaethje, Poirier, Saryukian, Fiziev, which one would you say is the biggest threat for Islam Makhachev in the lightweight division?
Gosh,
it's a tough one. Take your time.
You would have to say Arman because of all you have to go to their last fight. I mean, they fought already, and it was a good fight. So you would have to say, solely based off watching tape, it would be Arman Saryukian.
Yeah, it was. Yep.
But I'm not gonna lie to you. I don't care that Saint Denis had staph infection. I thought Poirier looked good.
Me too.
I think he looked crispy. He looked great. Yeah, and I would love to see him fight for the title in June. I would love to see that fight because I think he gave Habib his best test, even though Habib won. But Poirier was in there and he made it. You know, he locked up that guillotine, almost choked him out with it. So
I agree 100%. Listen, sign me up. Nobody else is available. Gaethje is fighting Holloway. Arman is fighting Oliveira. Islam wants to fight in June. The only one available that early is Poirier. And Benoit has staph infection. I think Poirier would have won anyways. The hands look crisp.
Yeah, I thought he looked really good. And Gaethje, you mentioned Gaethje's fighting Max Holloway. Man, I hate to see Max Holloway go out like that. I don't know if you've talked about that yet, but that's gonna be his going away party. That's gonna be an ugly fight, man.
It might sound a little bit crazy, but I don't know why I've been thinking about it lately, but maybe Max Holloway makes it a tougher fight than people imagine. I wouldn't bet on it, but you never know. That's all I'm gonna throw out there. That's all I'm gonna throw out there. Any last thoughts, Joe?
That's it. I can't wait for the stream tonight. I want to hear what Trey's gonna say.
Well, he's an idiot, so probably nothing fruitful. Thank you for the call, Joe.
Yes, sir.
And there you have it, guys. Listen, we have been live for a long time. So we've been live for like an hour and a half or something like that. Yeah, an hour and a half practically. So I'm going to get out of here, try to work on some content. We're back at 7 p.m. for a live discussion talking about whether Sean O'Malley deserves to be number 6 on the rankings. Thank you for always coming through. Number 1 commentary channel on YouTube. We'll be back at 7 p.m. Have a good day at work, Acer. Joe, I hope you get to your destination safely. Beta, have a good one. Chris Fave, Trey Melton, Hito, Curtis Williams, and all you guys.